Hello, fellow Crusaders, and welcome to our latest episode. My name's Sean Waskerg. With me, as always, is Brian Michaels. And today we're reviewing one of my most anticipated films of the summer, The End of Oak Street. Now, preferences, just like we did with Spider-Man Brand New Day a couple weeks back, this is going to be a spoiler review. So if you guys have not seen it yet, and you don't want to be spoiled, then go watch End of Oak Street. And then come back and listen to us. If you guys don't care, if you guys have already seen it, stick around, listen to me and Brian talk about it, because we are going to go into the spoilers right away. Now, I will say this has been a movie that I have been waiting. Has it been 2 years since it popped up on Most Anticipated for me? And because it was called wasn't it called like Fruit?
It's called Flowervale Street originally.
Flowervale Street, yeah. We thought it was also going to be like a Cloverfield spinoff at some point, but this was one that for 2+ years. This was on my most anticipated, and all I had was a poster, a black poster with dinosaur fossil heads. And I knew Anne Hathaway and Ewan McGregor was in this, and I was so excited for it. Finally got a trailer for it, and I was like, cool. I don't know what I'm expecting from this, because this was very weird. It's got a very, very weird premise. But there was also one glaring problem that I had that made me go, I don't know if I'm going to like this or not, and that's the director. Because I can't stand, what the hell is this guy's name? David Robert Mitchell. Mm-hmm. I'm sure he's a nice guy. But he literally is the director of one of my most hated horror movies of all time, It Follows. So to be excited about this movie, knowing he was directing it, kind of made me go, I don't know if I should trust myself with this. But nonetheless, this was one of my more anticipated films of the summer left. I think the only one really left that I'm excited for now is Coyote vs. Acme. But Brian, what were your thoughts going into The End of Oak Street? Were you as excited, or were you at least anticipating it, since it is a dinosaur movie?
I was definitely anticipating it. I was excited. Yeah, I was excited for it because it's we knew it was produced by J.J. Abrams. It's dinosaurs. It's got Ewan McGregor and Anne Hathaway in it. And the director-wise, I kind of liked It Followed. I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it the way Sean does either. But more importantly, since then, I watched his other film, Under the Silver Lake, and I really liked that movie. It's kind of a weird noir, almost David Lynchian kind of thing. So it didn't really translate for this dinosaur action movie. So I didn't know what this was going to look like. Because anytime you take one of these kind of indie directors and put them in a more blockbustery kind of action film, it can surprise you, or it can just be wow, they took all the fun out of it, So I was cautiously optimistic about this movie. Saw the trailer for it, and I think it didn't dampen my enthusiasm. I don't know if it heightened it. It even more had me going, I wonder where this is going to go, kind of thing. Yeah. Because I'd seen, I don't remember the name of it. There's a movie I saw that had the same kind of premise, where it took this section of land and it's like a city or whatever, and swapped it with another. It almost looks the exact same, where the bus was cut in half. I actually think there was a bus cut in half in this other movie I saw. It starred, what was the oh my gosh, I'm sorry, I'm just bad at this point.
It's rare when Brian gets brain farted. It's usually me.
Okay, let me ask you this: what was the movie with the woman and her best friend, the soldier? My dead friend Zoe, or whatever it's called.
My dead friend Zoe. Yeah.
Zoe. Who was the girl in that was dead? That actress.
Oh, you bastard! I can see her face. I'll look it up super fast, but
I'll keep talking about that. Anyway, this movie I'm talking about starred her, and so I'm like, okay, I kind of have seen this premise before, but obviously it's going to have,
Natalie
instead
Morales.
Of just yes, Natalie Morales. So this other movie had just starred her, but it was the same kind of premise, although I don't believe dinosaurs show, because I don't think it was a time thing. So I was like, it obviously has some kind of weird sci-fi thing going on, in addition to just the dinosaurs and that to it. So I didn't know where it was going to go. So I kind of went in cautiously optimistic, and that was me going into it.
I'm looking through her IMDb, and I am not seeing.
It's a small film. I'll look it up.
I was like, I am not seeing anything that looks like what this would be. I love Natalie Morales, though. I would have definitely have checked it out. But yeah, there's nothing I'm seeing that's making me go, oh, it's probably this movie. Yeah, I was kind of in the same boat. When I saw the initial trailer for it, I was just like, okay, this because granted, I didn't have this other film in my mind. I was like, well, I don't think I've ever seen a premise like this. And once again, it's something different than what Jurassic was. I'm just going to start calling it Jurassic now because it's not Park and it's World, and I'm not going to say the Jurassic franchise. But it's something different than Jurassic, and let's face it, unless you want to watch shitty sci-fi channel movies, there hasn't really been probably a dinosaur movie. Primitive War, I'm not counting. But the last dinosaur movie I can think of that wasn't Jurassic was what? Land of the Lost? That wasn't animated?
Maybe.
I can't think of another one. So yeah, and plus, like I said, Ewan McGregor and Anne Hathaway are two actors I love. We both love them. So you brought them into this. I'm intrigued to see how they react to the dinosaurs. So going into this now, did you ever find the movie?
No, I think I might be mixing her up with a different actress because I don't see her.
Like I said, I went through her whole IMDb.
There was a movie with the same premise. That's somebody who looked like her at least.
I was like, there's nothing I'm seeing in this. I guess I'll go first then. I normally let Brian go first, but I'll go ahead and go first. I'm conflicted about this film. It's not bad. It's fine. It's fine. It's just it felt like there was something missing to me while watching this, or it was either that there was something missing or they didn't utilize the time that they had the way I felt they could have to have made this stronger. It's only, what was it? Like, I think it was like only like an hour and a half. So it's a short movie. And I feel like they probably could have either maybe 20 more minutes to really sink their teeth into this. Whether it was the story of the family or more of just like what actually happened. Because it's like once we get into the mix of it, like it does the one thing that it's a huge pet peeve of mine. It's an M. Night Shyamalan thing where something weird happens, no one knows what it is, and then they do a random scene like The Happening, for example, where some rando just gives away what the plot is of the movie and what actually is happening. And you're not supposed to be like, all right, well, that whatever the fuck that guy's saying, sure. And then it ends up fucking being that. And what made it worse was that it was the daughter of all people who just bullshitted her way into explain. Well, maybe it was.
Well, Carl Sagan once talked about wormholes.
Oh, it's a wormhole. It was like I literally, as I was watching, I go, I swear to fucking God, if that ends up being what this is, and she just bullshits her way into explaining that that's what it was, I'm gonna be so pissed off. And sure enough, that's what it fucking was. I hate when they do this shit because to me it comes off lazy, that they don't have a good enough way to explain the logic of what's going on, so they just bullshit someone. There's another movie I watched this weekend as well that did the exact same fucking thing, and I'm just like, can we seriously just not like come up with a good way to explain what's going on without having someone who has no idea? There's like not a scientist, not anything special. It's a fucking girl who just graduated high school who somehow is the one that fucking figures out what the fuck's going on. Like, fuck you, seriously. And so, I mean, that's not enough for me to go fuck this movie. But like when that happened, I immediately went, they're M-Nighting this, because I was like, I swear to God, this is a fucking M. Night cliche that pisses me off every time they fucking do it. And that's why I call it an M. Night thing, because I always picture it. It's always an M. Night movie that I think of when they do this stupid shit. I didn't care for Anne Hathaway in this. And it's not her performance. I hated the way they wrote her character.
I hate the writing in most of the movie.
The writing, yeah. Like, Ewan McGregor was, I don't want to say he was great, but he played this like, he's not a buffoon. He's not a buffoon by any means, but he's like this, like, he's almost like a Ted Lasso. He just wants to be optimistic about everything, even when the world around him is crumbling down. But then there's like this subplot backstory where I guess he was a drunk, but they don't want to delve into that. They just want to have Anne Hathaway yell at him for 2 lines about drinking. And I was like, is there more to this? No, we're not gonna have that. Okay, fine. That seems like story that would be important to the character plot. And then there's this whole book like thing with her, which literally just her writing that she wants to fucking leave her family and start all over again, which really just doesn't make her that likable of a fucking character. She's not a likable character in this at all, which sucks because I love Anne Hathaway. The kids themselves seem like they're smart until the movie needs them to be fucking idiots, mainly the son, which once again, is a huge fucking pet peeve of mine. When if you write your characters to be smart and clever, it's mainly a horror movie problem for me. But then in order for the plot to continue, you have to have them do something incredibly stupid that's out of character for them. And then that to me seems lazy writing as well. It's like you wrote yourself into a hole and you have to make someone stupid in order for it to happen. There's also one of those things where that also bugs me in the movies when you have a weapon, you're running around with a weapon for 90% of the film, and then you never fucking use the weapon when you need to use it. Like Anne Hathaway with the shotgun. How many times, like, you have a gun, use it, bitch.
She shot it a few times. It didn't do any good, but
she used it at the very last second. Like, there's so many times, like, in the, like, up to that point where, like, you could, or even, like, the boy with the bow and arrow, which also an error. He first uses the bow poorly, might I add. And
the only time I actually him shoot an arrow, he has the worst aim in the world.
He has the worst aim. But he had like 5 arrows in his quill, and then the next shot he only had 1 arrow. I'm like, bro, you only used 1. It's like where the fuck did the other arrows go? It didn't fall out. But like I said, these are little nitpicky things. But like, I think they thought they were being smart by keeping the cast small, by having it just be a family. But I think it actually hurt the film by having it just be a family-centric story. And the way they make it seem like, oh, it's just their street. It's not their street. It's a fucking subdivision. Like this, there's a lot of land here that is being, there's so many people that they could have like brought into the story to flesh this out. You could have had a scientist living on that street, or somebody who could, or a survivalist, or someone. It's the 80s. There's people around here like that.
Or just in a situation like this, you think people are going to like start congregating together and working together to solve this problem instead of just everybody's like, nope, we're all on our own.
Yeah, we're all just fuck everybody. We're the 80s. If anything, they should be more together because this is the 80s. If it was today, okay, I can see us all saying, no, I don't want to talk to you, but it's just like it just felt very secluded, and it didn't need to be secluded, especially when the opening of the movie is a big like neighborhood party where everyone's all like buddy, we're all friends, but then as soon as this shit happened, fuck all of you, I'm out. Like that, it just didn't really work for me. I think the visuals of the dinosaurs, I thought were unique enough because they're more furry than anything else. I do think there's this the Allosaurus scene I thought was shot so well. I thought that whole sequence was incredibly well done. But to me, the story just didn't feel good enough for what the movie could have been. The ending, which I know you had more of a issue with the ending than me, because like I'm like when the ending happens, and I know it's spoiler, I'm just not gonna say it right now, but when the ending happens, my first thing was, do this, go do this, fucking go do this. You have 20 minutes, go do this. And she finally like, oh, and I'm like, yeah, there you go. Like catch up. You're on a time clock here. But it also felt like, because when Ewan's character happens with Ewan's character, I was like, holy shit, I didn't think they'd actually do that. Like, I was caught off guard because it was so bam when it happened. I was like, oh my God, like, fuck, okay. And then within like 20, not even within 20 minutes, within like 10, 15 minutes, it was all just, nope, everything's fine. But I also just didn't like how the wormhole thing came to be. Like, oh, it's just, 20 minutes. And it's like, no, I don't really like that either. So it just felt very uneven. It's like the whole time I'm watching it, and I'm like, I'm not hating it. But I'm also not enjoying it. I'm just kind of like observing this, and it had nothing to do with the director. I'm not like, oh well, you hate the directors. You were already. I'm like, no, I wanted to go kind of like Guy Ritchie, like, hey, okay, I actually like this guy now. But as I was watching it, I'm like, these are the same things, kind of, and the same plot issues and the same story development issues that I kind of had issues with It Follows. I'm like, okay, maybe this is a director thing, kind of like how I had issues with Guy Ritchie because he had his things that he did that bugged me, that he doesn't really do much anymore. But the movie just felt uneven. I didn't really care for any particular performance. None of them are outright bad. None of them are performed badly. They're doing what it says on the script. You know, no one is outright horrible in this film. I didn't like how the characters were written. I didn't like the execution of the story. I think what's happening in the story is good. It was how they executed it that didn't really work for me. And the ending felt like it was just tied up in a little bit of a bow. And I don't think the movie earned that either at the same time. So for me, I gave it a 3-star because, like I said, the dinosaur visuals were unique. They don't look like fucking Jurassic Park, but they don't look super cheap and bullshit either. I think visually everything looked good. I think the execution of the dinosaurs were good. Could they have been utilized better? Yes. But when they were utilized to their potential, it was some really cool looking stuff. But yeah, for me, it was just kind of which to me was a big disappointment. I say all that to go to Brian, since I barely let him talk. Brian,
am I still talking non-spoiler?
I mean, I was kind of jumping in and out of spoiler, non-spoiler.
Because I wasn't sure what you were doing. Because you're like you're being non-spoiler about some things, but you kind of gave things away.
So because I know you. I want to give you some spoiler stuff to talk about. I didn't want to take it all from you. So okay. Yes, say whatever the hell you want to say.
Okay. Well, let me just first talk generally. First of all, they were clearly going for that, and I've seen even reviews comparing this to like that Amblin Entertainment kind of Steven Spielberg, that 70s, 80s kind of suburban kind of feel to it. You even have the same, the family, the parents on the edge of divorce, all the same kind of things you had in all those Spielberg movies. So it clearly was going for that tone. I don't know if I quite got it because a lot of it, especially like the dialogue and things, and with the book, like you said, and with the drinking line, it was very heavy-handed. It was not written very well, which is one of the reasons I kind of wish J.J. Abrams had directed this instead of just produced it, because he was much better at capturing that feel in Super 8,
If J.J. had directed this movie, it would have been amazing.
Yeah, I think it would have been so much better. So it actually, it was funny is like when I until I started watching the movie, I somehow missed in the trailer, which I think I only saw the trailer once or twice. I didn't even realize it was a period piece. So I start watching the movie, and I realized, like from the way, I think it was at some point. It wasn't until she's talked about Carl Sagan. He teaches at this college. I'm like, wait, Carl Sagan's dead. And then I went, oh shit, wait a minute, this doesn't take place now. Which the reason I was thrown by that is because David Robert Mitchell in It Follows purposely made it so it wasn't taking place in any one given time. So I was like, oh, is he doing that?
Pissed me off.
Which I know pissed you off. So I thought he might kind of be doing that, being like, we don't know when it takes place.
I thought he was too, because there's certain things that happen in this movie. I'm like, I want to say this is 80s, but like Anne Hathaway has headphones when she's typewriting her book, and I'm like, did they have headphones?
Yeah, they had big fat plug-in headphones like that exist.
Okay, yes. I was just like, there are certain things I'm like, yeah. Is he fucking doing this to me again?
Because as soon as she said Carl Sagan, I realized, oh, look at the clothes and like the cars. I'm like, oh, okay, this is like late 70s, early 80s somewhere in there. I'm just now catching that because I felt stupid. But so I'm watching that. But then there's a scene where the girl sits in the car and she's listening to Steve Winwood's Valerie on cassette in her car. And my mind, first of all, went, that didn't come out to like 1987, because I remember, I was in early high school, like freshman year or something, when that song was big. And so I'm like, wait a second, but they're dressed, the way they're dressing, this is not 87. This is like 1980, 81, somewhere on there.
Even at the end of the movie, when they land in the pool, the woman says it's 1982.
Yes, it's July 11th, 1982 is when this whole thing happened.
Yeah.
So now So I thought, I'm like, they didn't even take the time to make sure the song was out. But then I looked it up after the movie. I'm like, oh, it looks like that was a re-release. That song actually came out in 1980. Well, the album came out in 1982. But it wasn't until August after this movie takes place that the album came out, and the single wasn't released until like 2 months later. Anyway, so that's just nitpicking.
Brian catches a lot of this music stuff. I never thought of
it. Only because I was alive when the song came out, and so I like my mind went, that's not right.
No, but that's just this is not the first movie that you've caught the music. You catch this very well. You're actually amazing at this.
But that's just nitpicking. But so this was a period film taking place. I don't think they quite caught that Spielberg aesthetic they wanted to. Which, although in addition to that, though, they were going to make this an R-rated movie, which I'm glad they did. So we could see dinosaurs and full carnage and everything. So it wasn't going to happen.
I don't feel like they went as full as they could have gone.
It's like if they were going to go R, I think they should have gone a little bit farther, because there's a couple scenes where it gets a little bit graphic, but most of the stuff wasn't that much more graphic than you're going to catch in a Jurassic movie, you know? Mm-hmm. Which I will say, whatever we think of this movie at the end, I'm just glad that people are starting to be willing to make dinosaur movies that aren't Jurassic Park movies.
Yes.
Because my thing has always been the same thing with Pirates movies and Pirates of the Caribbean. Is like, people are afraid to even make one because they know they'll be compared to those things, which are like these huge, blockbuster things. But now with Primitive War, which I actually quite enjoyed Primitive War, and then this movie, it feels like people they're like, okay, it's okay to make dinosaur movies that aren't Jurassic movies. We're not going to be on their level, but people can still enjoy them. So I'm happy they're being made. And like you said, it has a little bit of a different look to it, because they're going on like our modern understanding of what dinosaurs look like, since Jurassic Park came out. They've then said basically the whole scientific community is like, raptors probably had feathers and blah, blah, blah. And so these looked a lot more feathery. They weren't the raptors we're used to seeing. So I do like seeing kind of a different take on them. So there was that. So talk about the heavy-handed divorce shit, especially with her writing the whole book, which again amounted to nothing. The kids. The daughter completely agree. She's just like, oh, you know what? Carl Sagan once talked about wormholes, and that turns out to be the whole thing. That bugged the shit out of me, that was just too easy exposition coming from a character who wouldn't really know that much about it. Mm-hmm. The son to me was just kind of pointless, because first of all, he's carrying around this bow and arrow the whole movie, so you know that's going to come into play. And you think, well, he carries his bow and arrow everywhere he goes. Even before the shit goes to, this isn't even dinosaur time. Even before that, he's carrying around a bow and arrow for no fucking reason, apparently, even though he apparently sucks at using it. So you think it's going to come into play. It doesn't really, because like I said, the one time we see him actually shoot an arrow, he misses. The only time he uses an arrow is when he takes it by hand and stabs it into that snake thing, which I'm pretty sure didn't exist, by the way.
Even when that thing first showed up, I'm like, is that a worm? Is that a snake?
Yeah, I didn't know what that was.
It don't look like a snake. And then it opened, I'm like, okay, it's a snake.
And my problem with that scene, too, is like, he sees the thing slithering by, it's about to like eat Anne Hathaway. He stabs it with that little skinny arrow, and the thing freaks out and goes back and attacks him. Meanwhile, 30 seconds later, she stabs that thing like 100 times with this knife, and it's like, it doesn't even feel it. It's just too busy doing
it. Fuck off, lady. It's like, no, like, I don't care. Keep stabbing me, fucker.
I'm like, that one arrow hurt, but your knife doesn't do shit to me.
Yes.
Then there's characters who really, there's the bully kid who was in there, and you knew he was going to come back, and he did kind of come back for like half a second, but it wasn't enough to it didn't mean anything.
Let's pause on that, because as soon as I started, I'm like, fuck, I forgot to bring up the bully. Okay, where we are at in that part of the story, do you really think that it is smart at night with dinosaurs around? Let me tackle this kid, yell and beat him up, make all this noise. Is that a smart move? No.
There was multiple times this movie they're walking around either shining their flashlights everywhere or just talking and yelling people's names to make noise. Like, what are you doing? There's creatures out here looking for you.
When that bully jumps on him, I'm like, is this really important at this moment? Was this really necessary? If anything, make a lot of noise so the dinosaurs eat him. You don't jump him. Shut the fuck up.
And then 10 seconds later, have him be like, oh, I'm sorry. And then run away.
What got into me? And then we never see him anymore. Did he die? Does him and his brother? We never see him again. What was the point? Not to mention, not to tangent away from you. What was the point of the dinosaurs fucking scene? What was the point?
You know what? It was. There was no point to it, but I did find it amusing, and it's something we haven't seen in a dinosaur movie before. So I was like,
it's just like the whole. Okay. I'm like, it goes to. I'm just like, Yeah, I was like, he was like, yeah, I guess we haven't seen that before, but I'm like, is this really the time to do this
Well,
movie?
the thing is, I'm glad they took like two herbivores and had them
Like
just do it over
brachiosaurus
there.
types, yeah.
Yeah, so it wasn't like it wasn't like that's how they got away from the raptors because they decided they had to fuck or something. It was just two dinosaurs who would have just been doing their own thing anyway. So fine, whatever.
Yeah,
Um,
it was so out
and
of
it made excuse for them to take a picture so that they could have a picture at the end, and back in their own time or whatever to show that it really happened. Although it turned out all the dinosaurs came back
which
anyway.
I'm
So
sorry, that Polaroid would have been destroyed as soon as she landed in that pool.
yeah, okay.
There's no way that Polaroid would have survived.
So okay, more problems. The whole, I don't know what you want to call it, the wormhole bubbles appear, right?
Yeah.
So we see a couple of times in this movie in the early on, there's the flashes of lights, and then it turns out you find out in the morning something happened, like the plant arrived or the fucking pile of shit was there, whatever.
Yeah.
But then they find one, which apparently this one doesn't just flash. This one stays there for 30 seconds or a minute while they sit there and talk about going in,
Well,
and they
the
don't.
first one stayed there for a while.
Yeah, and then it just disappeared when it was convenient.
Yeah.
And then they find another one. They see the other one up on the hill. That one is no longer moving around. That one just stays there all the time. They go up there 20 minutes later. Oh, it's still there. But that one opens, closes. Like it never did this before. What's going on?
Yeah, like when that one happened, I'm like, you see how far away that is? Do you expect that thing to still fucking be there? Is the plot of the movie now them jumping around the town or the subdivision trying to find this? Because there's no way that thing would have still fucking remained there.
Yeah, and it reappears in the same spot, whereas the other ones never did that before. And then you have the whole thing where it's like, okay, it's going to transport us. We have this apparently something between the Jurassic times or whatever, prehistoric
Whatever
times,
period, yeah.
and in modern day, and they switch places. But somehow at the end, it's like, oh, it's going to take them and put them back not in the exact same spot, and also it's going to put them back like 25 minutes earlier for no reason. It's like, what? We just making up the rules as we go along.
Yeah.
It's like that kind of thing bugs the shit out of me. And it's like, and the whole Ewan McGregor thing. Okay, so Ewan McGregor, that thing's attacking Anne Hathaway. Ewan McGregor goes up with this little hammer and hits it, and the thing like falls over like it's fucking dead. And I was just
knocked the fuck out.
I was like, you hit him in like the ankle, and this thing fell over like it's dead. I'm like, I got his tension. I gotta hit him in the head. That's right. But still, it's like that sledgehammer on something that big with that tough of skin. It's not going to do that.
Which is why it got up like in less than.
Well, that's why I roll my eyes and I'm like, okay, why the fuck did they do this? This is dumb. But then we see it, gets up and gets him, and I'm like, okay, this is good. They didn't do something stupid like I thought they did. It just stunned him for a second. Fine, whatever. It picks him up, and my thought in all these movies is always, if it's an alligator movie or a dinosaur movie or a shark movie, whatever, things grab people by the leg, and then they still just get free and run away. And so, like when they grabbed him, I was like, oh shit, here we go again. But then, especially when it slammed him down to the ground. And then I saw that it ripped his leg off, which, first of all, is some of the bad special effects of this movie.
I was going to bring that. That looked horrible.
A missing leg looked like something I made on my computer here at home.
For something R-rated, where was the blood?
Yeah. So it ripped his leg off, and I'm like, whoa, I was not expecting that. And then it fucking ate him, and I'm like, oh shit, I did not see that coming. I'm like, I gave him props because it's like, it's so easy to be like, oh, let's just make all the heroes survive. Because in movies like this, it's like 500 other people can die as long as our heroes survive. That's fine.
Plot armor.
So, but he died, and I'm like, okay, I gotta give him props. I'm glad they did that. But then I'm like, oh fuck, I know where this is going. And sure enough, they come back and they undo it all because they have their time travel. Like, oh, because we came back 25 minutes earlier. It's like Back to the Future. We can prevent them's death from happening. I'll just call and get them to deliver a pizza to us, and so they basically undid any respect they got from me. And I'm just like, come on, you could have just left him dead and let it be that.
I will say that moment where Ewan dies, that was the best piece of acting in the movie from Anne Hathaway at that exact moment. When she literally just went, fool. And I'm just like, at first I was like, you shut yourself off? I'm like, wait, no, that actually is brilliant. Like, that was brilliant performance right there from her at that point. Was like, grab the kids, get the fuck out now. It's distracted, get the fuck out now. And I was like, okay, no. At first I was pissed. I'm like, God damn it, Anne Hathaway's character's a bit. I'm like, actually, no, that was actually really, really good. I should commend her for that. But yeah, and then she writes the book at the end. And I'm just like, fuck off. Like, come on. Like, You spent most of the movie hiding in the house or hiding in a car. What story do you have? Kind of like, granted, she saw a good amount, but still, it was just like, oh, now she's this acclaimed author and stuff. But like, I just felt like there was so much story for Ewan McGregor's character that we just did not see. I feel like
my thing is they either needed, and I think it's kind of what you said at the beginning, is I feel like they needed a lot more story or less story. If it wants to just be like, boom, dinosaurs are in town, we're eating shit's going good, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with if it's just going to be an action, here's dinosaurs attacking this movie. But if it's not going to be that, then give us good story, give us good characters so that we do care, and you got to spend a little bit more time than you did on it. Because for me, this just came down to like just throwing in some dramatic scenes just to try and pretend you have character arcs and that. And the rest of it's just kind of this action, which honestly, most of the dinosaur action got kind of repetitive to me. It's just like, okay, this is just more of the same. Okay, whatever.
Also, can we talk about the storyline that they were teetering with the entire time and then just didn't want to fully do it like it was Disney, where they introduced this girl who's supposed to be the son's crush, find out that she's she was I guess a lesbian.
They never overtly say it, but yeah, there's kind of a look between them, and then at the end they're holding hands, which friends could do, especially girls. But
hold on, I'm not there yet. There yet. So they're close. I'm like, okay, well, they're friends, but then you're like, wait a second. I think we're actually getting a lesbian storyline, and then you have these weird moments where they're like, they're not kissing or anything, but they're having moments. And then you got the fucking brother, like, creepily, like, looking through the door at him. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, is this going to go somewhere? Are you going to get into a fight with your sister over this girl? Like, where are we going with this? Because there was at least 2 separate times where he's, like, eerily spying on them. Like, how dare you take her from me? She's my crush, which, A, you've seen her once. Which, granted, at that age, as usual, you need to have a crush on a girl. But they never went anywhere with that. So, like, where are they going to go with this? And then I loved, like, when we do jump back in time, come back.
Yeah.
She leaves and runs back down into the neighborhood. But yet we see at the very end, she somehow made it back with her parents. Like, her parents believed her. And she got them out of the town before it shifted. Like, once again, that story, because I think the whole time, I'm like, when Ewan came, I'm like, that's where I'm like, yeah, but they just totally let that girl go, just get fucking disappeared again. Like, she got fucked over, but then at the very end, like, oh no, there she is, and she gets to be a lesbian with her friend, or at least it's situated. But
because definitely holding hands at the end, yeah.
Also, did you notice that the son had a girlfriend who looked just like her at the same time? It's like, oh, he got someone who looks just like her.
I thought the girlfriend was like blonde or something, wasn't she?
No, I don't think she was blonde. I think she looked exactly like the girl. Also, his friends straight up dumped his ass. Like, when he got chased, he went down the street by him. His friends left him. They said, fuck that kid. You never saw those kids again in that movie. Ever. Honestly, the MVP was the fucking dog. That dog did everything. Without that dog, and sure enough, because the boy got bit in the leg. And, he just whined the whole fucking time. Honestly, like, literally, like, when he misses the fucking wormhole, I'm like, you fucking dumbass. And then it's like, actually, you know what? I'm actually happy it happened to you.
Like, well, that's the thing. It was going consistent time, and they were sort of counting it out. And then the one time he jumps, it's like, oh, we're closing early, haha. And then, like, but then later on in the movie, they're like, well, we'll just trust it again, and we'll jump in.
Do you guys not see the gigantic pterodon right behind you? Like, screaming at you, but let's all sit here and watch this for another 30 seconds, everybody. Why?
What's this who's going first thing? Everybody jump. Just
jump. Go. And then that's what you ended up doing anyway. It's like, why are we going one at a time? Fucking go. I love that the dog was smart enough to jump. Because the whole time I'm like, someone pick up the dog. Pick up the dog. And the dog's like, nah, fuck you people. I'm jumping. And it's like, good dog. You're smart. So I gave it 3. What did you end up giving it?
I ended up at 3 as well. Okay. It might be close to like a 3.25, but I couldn't give it a 3.5, so I put it at 3.
It's like a between a 2.75 and 3. It's like when I liked it, but there's so much where I'm like, why are we doing this?
Yeah.
And once again, I don't want to jump on the guy, but I have to feel like this is a director's decision on a lot of the things that just irked me. Because as I'm watching, I'm like, this doesn't feel like JJ had any hands in it. It was just JJ's name. Like Jerry Bruckheimer name is everywhere, but it's like this doesn't feel like him. What?
Is it Brockheimer? I'm like, who's that? Jerry Bruckheimer? Yeah.
Bruckheimer, thank you. I feel like this was just JJ's studio and JJ's name only, and that JJ really had nothing to do with this.
Well, I feel like I think he probably had some involvement in like, you know, but not directly on the story and not like the day-to-day filming of it. So it's like, I think, because I can definitely see, like, especially with the whole that Amblin-esque aesthetic to it, and even just some of the dinosaur action and just having the whole kind of mystery box of the fucking wormhole. I feel like he had these concepts or ideas or things that he put into the movie and then said, here, go do something with it. And then this guy just didn't do anything good with it, you know? It's because it wasn't an awful movie. I didn't hate the thing.
No, I didn't hate it either.
Fine. It won't even make my top disappointments of the year because, like I said, I kind of went in optimistic but cautiously so. So it wasn't like I had super high hopes. Like this is gonna be the best movie of the year. So yeah.
Like for me right now in my head, I'm like, yes, this is one of my most disappointing films of the year. But when we get to the end of the year, will it be in my top 10? I don't know. I don't know if it will be or not. But I think it was just more or less it's because unlike you, I've been waiting for this movie for like over 2 years. And it's a dinosaur movie, and I'm used to being disappointed by shark films. I am used to being disappointed by dinosaur movies because of Jurassic.
But you still have not watched Primitive War, and I can't figure out why.
I don't know why either.
It's dinosaurs. It's R-rated. It's got some good people in the cast. Watch the fucking movie.
I think it's because I feel like I feel like I'm going to be like just disappointed, like it's a stupid sci-fi channel movie, and you're just gonna talk me into watching it. It's just gonna suck. Like I think there's been like a few times where I'm like, I should watch this, and I'm like, no, I feel like I'm being baited into watching.
Well, I'll say this much: in like story and things, I think it's closer to a sci-fi movie than to like Jurassic Park, but the effects and stuff were quite impressive for a low budget movie, and the action, everything was pretty good. So it's worth at least checking out.
All right, not that the people on the channel are gonna know or care. I promise you, I will watch this soon. Okay. I will watch this soon. Hey, you finally got me to break down and watch The Gentleman. I will watch Primitive War here soon at some point. Like I said, not that we're going to talk about it here on the channel, but yeah. Anything else you want to add about End of Oak Street?
Only that the fact that I did not like it as much as I had hoped to softened the blow for me because I got fucked by Spider-Man. Because Spider-Man decided to expand to IMAX a week ago, and then so all the advertising for this movie that has said filmed in IMAX and get your tickets now in IMAX, it came to this weekend and they didn't put it in IMAX except in like very, 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 very few IMAX locations.
I'm going to defend Spider-Man here.
Instead, they held Spider-Man over. It's like, fuck you.
First off, Spider-Man's it's already past $1.7 billion.
Undeservedly so.
Hold on. Number 2, Spider-Man got fucked over by the Odyssey first. So it's not Spider-Man's fault. It's the Odyssey's fault for keeping IMAX for longer than it was supposed to.
And both of those movies are overrated. So
no, they're not. Stop. You know they're not.
They're both very good movies that people are like losing their shit over. It's like they aren't that good, folks.
Are they or are they not both in your top 5 for the year?
No.
Really?
I know for sure one of them. I'm going to look right now at my list.
You have said on both reviews that they are your number 1 film of the year at that point.
I've never said they're number 1 film of the year.
You did for Odyssey. You said Odyssey was the best film of the year.
I didn't.
And Spider-Man, yes, you did.
No, I said if I was talking best films, but I don't do that. I do my favorite films. They are both in my top 10. I'll just tell you that much. The rest you have to wait and see.
Then they're not overrated if they're in your top 10.
They don't deserve to be breaking Endgame records and shit. Anyway,
they're not gonna break Endgame.
Yeah, it's getting there.
I don't think it will. I think once we get out of summer, Spider-Man will slow down.
Anyway, we're getting on tangents here.
Yeah, we're getting off tangent. But anyway, what were you guys' thoughts on the End of Oak Street? Did you like it? Did you dislike it? Were you kind of like us? We were like in the middle. Could have been better. There's some real stupid shit in there, mainly, the kids. Let us know in the comments below. We'll be coming back here very, very soon. Probably enough to the point where we're wearing the same clothes. Meaning that we're probably going to be shooting here in a couple hours. There's a lot of stuff that's happened recently in the last week. Something called D23 and some MCU news, along with some other Disney news that we want to talk about, because we do spend awful lot of time on this channel talking about the MCU. So why the fuck would we not be talking about what they just announced at D23? Also, outside of End of Oak Street, Brian and I have seen quite a few movies since Spider-Man came out that didn't warrant their own videos, but we're going to talk about them a little bit here as well. So be on the lookout for that. That'll be coming up here very soon. I want to say the next big movie is probably Coyote Acme. Is that the next big one?
Yeah, that's the only thing I see in the near future. We'd probably shoot a solo video for.
Yeah, and we're 100% going to shoot that one because we spent, once again, way too much time talking about that on this channel to not have a review for Coyote vs. Acme. So we will definitely be back for that. Before we go, I want to address something that happened here in the past week. For anyone who has watched this channel for past couple years, you guys will also have known that outside of me and Brian, I also had a secondary show on here called the Wrestling Crusaders, where I talked pro wrestling with my co-host Jordan Owens. Most people know him as JPO. Sadly, last week, JPO passed away. Obviously, we have known Jordan for quite a while, so it definitely hit us hard, and we're obviously not prepared for it. The whole community of us that we talked to, which we all got connected together through movie trivia online and stuff like that. Jordan and I continued becoming friends outside of the movie trivia community through pro wrestling, and we decided to shoot a show together, which I got a little too busy to continue shooting that with Jordan. We were actually considering coming back with it here very soon. And of course, Brian hangs out with Jordan all the time doing movie trivia online as well. It sucks. Anytime you lose anyone, it sucks. But for people who watch the show and who maybe watched Wrestling Crusaders with me and Jordan, we wanted to let you guys, know what happened. He will always be in our thoughts because Jordan was honestly one of the nicest dudes. Funny, just a straight up all around great guy, and we're going to miss him deeply. So Jordan, if you're hearing us somewhere, we do miss you. We hope to see you sometime down the road. Until next time, though, we are the Movie Crusaders. I'm Sean Waskrug. That is Brian Michaels. Until next time, in case we don't see you, go watch the movies and go have some fun.